2019 is now in our rearview mirror. Let's take a look back at some of the biggest stories that impacted the Northwest Metro this year.
2, 1.
People living and driving through Plymouth breathed a sigh of relief and rejoiced when the new Rockford Road Bridge over 494 opened in October.
The old bridge from the 1960s was demolished. A whole new interchange, so new bridge, ramps are being redone. Some capacity expansion, so dual left turn lanes on the bridge. So really the project is meant to be a safety improvement.
That same month, people also rejoiced over the 98,000 square foot new Hy-Vee grocery store that opened in Maple Grove.
Always. We've had to travel maybe 10 miles. So it's probably now it's 2 or 3 miles. So it's going to be great.
Shoppers also got more access to the shops at Arbor Lakes, which opened a new streetscape in the fall. The changes opened up more parking and will allow the shops to host more events.
We're more than just a social club. We're a veterans organization serving the community.
The Osseo Maple Grove American Legion celebrated 100 years in 2019, while the Westfall American Legion in Robbinsdale closed its doors with a big community celebration.
So I'm saddened, but things have got to move on, and I know it.
The Bauer family, who operated a pick-your-own berry farm in Champlin, decided to retire after 4 decades in business.
I hope that we generated a lot of memories for people, and I know for the teenagers, I'll never forget them, and hopefully they'll remember the farm.
People will also remember the Sweet Taste of Italy's Crystal location. When the restaurant announced they would close after Thanksgiving, people rushed in to buy one more plate of pasta.
This one just had something nice and special about it that people really liked. They liked coming here. They liked that it didn't have a bathroom.
The Hollydale Golf Course closed at the end of the golfing season, with their owners sailing off into retirement. However, this beautiful green property caught the eye of developers who want to convert the 160 acres of land into single-family homes. Neighbors have formed a group called Preserve Hollydale Green Space.
This is enough growth. We have enough houses in Plymouth now, and that we need to have green space. We need to have places for people to go and get away from all of the traffic. We need to think about what we want Plymouth to be.
There isn't a formal plan at the city level just yet, but the city is studying traffic and conducting an environmental review to prepare. Residents are also concerned this development will add more students into the steadily growing Wayzata School District.
The last 5 years, we've seen about 1,800 new students, and we're expecting about that pace or slightly more for the next 5 years.
Much of the growth in the Wayzata district is in northwest Plymouth, where the district built its newest elementary school that opened this fall. Northwoods Elementary School is expected to be at capacity sooner rather than later.
I don't know what the predictions are yet for next year, but we are built with the intent to grow.
Meanwhile, the Osseo School District is under new leadership. The school board hired Corey McIntyre, an associate superintendent from the Anoka-Hennepin School District, after not 1, but 2 searches.
I'm coming into a really positive environment, right? So lots to work off and build upon. So I'm really trying hard to honor that work that's been done, that's positioned us to this point. Because without being here where we're at, we can't kind of springboard forward as easily.
The Robbinsdale School District is also looking forward to 2020 after a rocky chain of events that started with reassigning the longtime principal of Armstrong High School to another position. Students walked out, parents rallied, and petitions were started that ultimately were submitted to the state auditor for an audit.
The best possible result is we find nothing is wrong. I don't think that's going to happen.
I do know that at the end of the day, a lie and the truth cannot coexist. And character, where I come from, wins out.
But what we're asking the state auditor's office to do is really a forensic audit, dealing with specific areas of the financial management or mismanagement of the district.
The state audit will happen, but the scope hasn't yet been determined. This year was also one for the record books in terms of weather. The polar vortex brought record-setting and bone-chilling cold to our region in late January.
This is absolutely needed. I mean, you're talking frostbite within 5 minutes.
Law enforcement handed out blankets and rescued people from the deadly cold. It was also the wettest year on record for our area. You could see evidence of that in Robbinsdale, where the city rented pumps to keep Crystal Lake from flooding and had to keep renting them until the first freeze. 2019 will certainly be remembered in the Liberian community. A packed crowd in Brooklyn Park watched as Winfred Russell was sworn in as the first Liberian council member of that city. In Brooklyn Center, Mike Elliott took the oath of office as the city's first mayor of Liberian descent.
Going forward, it's about me getting out in the community, continuing to talk to people and get people engaged, get people involved in city making. I think that we will be successful when we can bring people to the table.
Liberians once again face the expiration of their Deferred Enforced Departure Status, or DED, where they are either given permission to stay in the U.S. or they have to go back to Liberia. People rallied, petitioned the government, and lobbied for a pathway to citizenship both here and in Washington. That goal could be close, as the U.S. Senate approved a bill in December that would give Liberians on DED status permanent residency.
We all are excited. I mean, the community is for sure very excited about this. It's a hopeful development that finally we can get permanent residency for Liberians who have been in this sort of limbo for almost 30 years.
And finally, we'll end this robust recap with that Twins fever that swept through our area with the Minnesota Twins Bomba season. Adults and kids alike got in on the fun of cheering on a winning Twins team.
It's fun to still now be able to share that passion and the joy that I have for baseball and the Minnesota Twins with my fifth graders.
Find more local news stories at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.